गौरांग गंधर्व गिरिधारी शिशि राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद शुतर शुत श्रीमाद भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद शुतर शुत श्रीमाद भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद शुतर शुत श्रीमाद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद शुतर शुत श्रीमाद भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद शुतर शुत श्रीमाद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु महाभगवत श्रील गौर किशोरदास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। नित्यानंद विश्व श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्यानंद विश्व वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानु गौड़ीय गुरु-वर्ग की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद शुतर शुत श्रीमद् भक्ति विज्ञान भारती गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद शुतर शुत श्रीमद् श्री भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद शुतर शुत श्रीमद् श्री भक्ति दैत माधव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद शुतर शुत श्रीमद् श्री भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोसाई महाराज की जय। तृतीय शिव व्यास पूजा महा महोत्सव की जय। His 127th appearance day की जय। जय नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद शुतर शुत श्रीमद् भक्ति रक्षक श्रीधर गोसाई महाराज की जय। All the associates of Jagat Guru Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, and all the disciples and followers of those associates ki jai. Jai Śrīla Baladevi Vibhushan Prabhu ki jai, Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai, Śrī Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Trai ki jai, Śrīla Krishnadas Kaviraj Gosai Par ki jai, Śrī Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Śrī Jeev Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath Shar Gosai Prabhu ki jai, Śrī Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Śrī Gaur Parshad Vrind ki jai, नाम अचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। We will just do a short Mangalacharan and then we'll begin after. Ajnanaतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतिषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वृंदाय तुलसीदेवाय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रददेवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः। भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And we can recite Śrīla Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja's Pranam mantra. Let's just start from here. Okay. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Gaura Prishtaya Bhutale Śrīmad Bhakti Pramodaya Purī Gosvāmī Niti Namine Devya Jnana Pradatra Cha Prabhave Janma Janmani Jnana Vairagya Dehaya Shastra Siddhanta Samvide Patitam Samudhare Patitanam Samudhare Yati Vesha Dharaya Vai Prachara Chara Karyecha Jagarukaya Sarvada Yathodhavasya Kumarad Bhagavadarchane Rati Vaishnavanam Sarva Kritye Dakshata Paramathatha. I offer my obeisance unto Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī, who is most dear to Sri Gaur in this world. Birth after birth, may he always bestow and enlighten me with divine knowledge. He is the personification of spiritual wisdom and is the revealer of the conclusions of Shastra. He has accepted the robes of a sannyasi in order to deliver the fallen souls. He is always attentive to both devotional practice and preaching. In his youth, he developed an attraction towards the worship of the Supreme Lord in the same way that Sri Uddhav did. He is supremely expert in all the devotional ceremonies of the Vaishnavas. Jai Śrīla Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. All right, Dandavat Pranams, dear devotees, Nuri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, and Rukmiṇī Didi, Dandavat Pranams, Champak Mataji, Deepika Gupta, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, and let's see, one second, let me just open up Restream and YouTube. I opened it up a bit late, so I'm going to be missing some of the comments, but I see Ganga Mataji there, and Indira Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, and I don't know who else is there. Maybe Rohini Nanda Prabhu and Rupa Raghunath Prabhu, Vidyalala Sadiri, Dandavat Pranams, and all the devotees watching in the future. Hari Bol. All right, so yeah, I'm going to hand it over to Rukmiṇī Didi so that she can offer her puṣpāñjali or read something or whatever you like to your Guru Maharaj. And then afterwards, with whatever time is left over, we can just read different things, maybe from Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. My Gurudeva also wrote a lot about Śrīla Bhakti Pramoda Gosvāmī Mahārāja, or anything else anybody has, if anybody has any suggestions also, we can do that. Right. Very cool.
Thank you so much, Madhukar Prabhu. Am I audible? Can you hear me?
My volume was down. Now I can hear you, yeah.
Now you can hear me, okay. All right, thank you for leading us in the Pranam mantra. So I'll just offer my obeisances to Śrīla Guru Maharaj, and I remember more and more every day how unqualified I am to even be in the presence or anything of Śrīla Guru Maharaj, but it's my duty on this day to attempt to glorify him, even though he's beyond me. So thank you, Madhukar Prabhu, for giving me this opportunity. And so I wanted to start by reading. So I was at the program yesterday, so I think you haven't read this lately. Reading a little bit from A Life of Devotion. I know Madhukar Prabhu had actually read the entire book before, but I think, at least for myself, this will be a good reminder for myself about Śrīla Guru Maharaj. So I'm reading from the chapter on Gopinath Gaudiya Math and the section Advice to Householders. And so I'm on page 186. And So I'll read that, and then after that, I think so. What time is it now? Yeah, after that, I think I may have a little time to say something myself also.
Okay.
Yeah, there was maybe one other section. I'm sorry?
Oh no, and I was just figuring, I think most everybody here knows Rukmiṇī Didi and everything, but yeah, I didn't really introduce you.
Oh,
So,
okay, yeah.
and also, well, actually, maybe you could say, yeah, so maybe you could say something about this, like this book, A Life of Devotion. Like it was written by your mother, went on the order of, did Śrīla Bhakti Gosvāmī Mahārāja order your mother to write that book? Or could you tell a little? No, is Guru Maharaj directly, right? Didn't he say?
Yeah, some devotees asked her. So I can't say too much about like because I got sort of involved later in the process, but yeah, some devotees had asked her, and then she went and saw Śrīla Guru Maharaj, and we spent weeks with him when he was being interviewed so we were recording a lot of audio cassette tapes. This was in 1998. So we were recording on Śrīla Guru Maharaj on audio cassette tapes, and he also wrote her a letter about this after we came back to the United States, telling her not to over glorify him and make him a laughingstock, and in the biography that she was writing. And then she went again later in 1998, and then he also told her more. And then we also got a lot of help from disciples of his, particularly Gopinath Babaji Maharaj, and so and various other disciples, and got various documents like his diaries, and of course there was a lot of and then my mother also interviewed various people, like I think, if I remember correctly, Santa Maharaj may have sent his interview on a cassette tape, and we went, when we were in Puri, we went and interviewed Śrīla Bhāratī Maharaj, Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Bhāratī Maharaj, and there's many other interviews also, and other offerings. Yeah, so I am so Śrīla Guru Maharaj mercifully gave me and my sister Rupa Mandri Harinam in 1991. So I don't know, does it require more introduction than that, or?
No, that's a quick side. Yes, yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And that book is such a treasure. My God, that I remember when we were reading that book, I felt so inspired. A Life of Devotion. And it's available online also, right?
Yes.
It's excerpts from it, I think, right? On what is the website? Nine
Islands Press, but also the entire PDF is online. The PDF doesn't have the pictures, but it has the entire text of the book. I will look for it and put it in the chat maybe after I finish. But yeah, I have it's on my sites.google.com, Ruchira site. So the whole PDF is there. And then also an excerpt. I excerpted the conversation with Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Bhāratī Mahārāja, because that conversation also is very interesting and in itself. So those two files are on that site.
Awesome. Okay.
Okay, so this is advice to householders. A family of Śrīla Purī Mahārāja's disciples from America was visiting him. Every day Maharaj would ask them about their daily routine, bhajan life, etc. He especially asked them some questions about how they were carrying out their deity worship. On the day of departure, a very pleasant surprise was waiting for them. Maharaj gave them a letter to take to a certain Brajabasi in Vrindavan, who would give them Govardhan Shila for them to worship in their house. Then Maharaj gave them very detailed instruction about how to worship Shri Girajaju, Govardhan Shila. In Vrindavan, the Brajabasi told them that he would not have given them Govardhan Shila without the letter from Śrīla Purī Maharaj. Then the Brajabasi touched the letter to his head, showing his respect for his divine grace. Śrīla Purī Maharaj always encourages his householder disciples to worship deities, to engage in Nam Sankirtan, and to serve the Vaishnavas. If householder devotees have deities in their house, they should worship their deities with the same love and reverence they have for the deities in the temple. They should remember that the deity form of Krishna is not a doll. The Supreme Lord is Satchidananda Vigraha. Śrīla Purī Mahārāja has written extensively on this matter in many of his Chaitanya Bani articles and his book Satchidananda Vigraha. Chaitanya Bani is the monthly magazine of Śrīla Gurudeva, Śrīla Param Gurudev, Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Madhav Maharaj, Śrī Chaitanya Gaudiya Math. After my great-grandfather was the first editor, and after my great-grandfather left, then Śrīla Guru Maharaj was the editor for the rest of his manifest pastime. So he also wrote many articles. So that's what he did. Maharaja's special desire is that everyone try to increase their chanting and chant with concentration. Maharaj has made it very clear that it is not enough for householders to send some money to the mutt from time to time. If they are initiated devotees of Gopinath Gaudiya Math, then they must follow a devotional schedule in their daily lives that includes chanting, reading, singing kirtan, offering bhog and eating prasadam, deity worship if they have deities, and observing Ekadashi, Chaturmasya, and the Vaishnava festivals. Maharaj himself has been observing Ekadashi by performing Nirjala Upavas, fasting even from water, with constant chanting and Harikatha for a long time. He does not expect that from everyone, but everyone should fast from grains and beans on Ekadashi day. He wants his disciples to observe Ekadashi in a very devotional mood. On Ekadashi day, one should chant more and spend more time in reading Harikatha. There should be no unnecessary mundane dealings. It is a day to spend discussing Harikatha in the association of devotees. The whole day one should remember Lord Hari. When observing Vaishnava festivals, devotees should try to actively participate and render some devotional service. Of all the Vaishnava festivals, 9 are extremely important for all initiated devotees. Shri Krishna Janmashtami, Shri Gaur Purnima, Shri Nityananda Trayodashi, Shri Radhashtami, Shri Balaram Purnima, Srila Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur's appearance and disappearance days, and Srila Gurudev's appearance day and disappearance day once he has disappeared. It would be inconceivable for an initiated devotee not to observe these occasions and render devotional service with total dedication. Maharaj wants his householder disciples to give up those habits that are unfavorable to devotion and to cultivate those that are favorable. In this regard, he quotes the following: Daino Atmanibedan Goptritte Baron Avashya Rakhibe Krishna Bishyash Palon Bhakti Anukul Matra Karje Shikar Bhakti Pratikul Bhav Bharjanangikar Sharanga Sharnagati Hoy Bechahar Tahar Prarthana Shune Shri Nanda Kumar. This is from Sharnagati, Song 1, verses 3 through 5. Humility, offering oneself unto the Lord, seeking out his guardianship, having firm faith in Krishna's protection, accepting everything favorable to devotional service, and rejecting everything unfavorable to devotional service with great determination. These constitute the sixfold path of exclusive surrender, and the prayer of one who takes to this path is heard by the Supreme Lord, the son of Maharaj Nanda. That's the end of the translation. Maharaj says, one's bhajan jivan, devotional life, or bhakti lata, creeper of devotion, is one's most precious possession. Therefore, devotees should guard their bhakti latas against all killer weeds, such as bad habits, addictions, self-deception, laziness, and distractions, and most importantly, from the attacks of the mad elephant, Vaishnav Aparad. The householder devotees should gather regularly to discuss Harikatha. Devotees should respect all other devotees, but in general they should go out of their way to try to associate with higher devotees, because such association will be more beneficial for them. Not only should devotees serve Gurudev, but they should also serve those devotees who are higher than them, and especially those who are dear to Gurudev. In this regard, Maharaj quotes the verse, Chadiya Vaishnav Sheva Nishtar Peche Keba. Who has ever been rescued without serving Vaishnavs? Whenever they have an opportunity to preach Bhagavad Dharma to others, they should do so. As much as possible, they should keep in contact with the Mat and try to serve Gurudev's mission in any way they can. They should conduct their daily lives on the basis of Gurudev's instructions and the scriptures, and not on the basis of some mundane ideas. Householder devotees should help each other as much as possible to render devotional service and to progress on the devotional path. Maharaj also emphasizes the importance of eating prasad. Initiated householder devotees should try to avoid eating food cooked by non-devotees as much as possible. They should cook their food every day and offer it to their deities, or, in the absence of deities, to Gurudev. Maharaj repeatedly emphasizes the need for kindness. Vaishnavas are not just vegetarians, they are kind to all living souls, including animals and trees, indeed to the whole environment. When one loves Krishna, one can feel affection for everyone else, not just for one's friends and relatives. Maharaj repeatedly says, quote, "A devotee thinks, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the whole world is my family," unquote. In order to live in this world, devotees may have to do so many chores, but they can go on with their lives with Krishna at the center. Every day, from morning till night, one's life and thoughts must be immersed in Krishna consciousness. If one can cultivate one's love for Krishna and sincerely serve him, one's life will undergo a profound change. The reward for devotional service is more devotional service and not some material happiness. Maharaj says that sometimes devotees will experience extreme frustration, helplessness, and discouragement in life. At times like that, they should cry very sincerely and pray very earnestly in front of Krishna. Maharaj says, "Every time I have cried like this in front of Krishna, the Lord has always responded." End quote. He tells his foreign disciples who come from all over the world and have given up the religion they were born with of their own volition, before they even knew him and before they even left their country, to remain respectful to the religions of their environment. Tolerance and respect for other religions is a feature of Vaishnavism. He wants those disciples who have children to raise them in a Krishna-conscious way. In this regard, he quotes the following shlok from Śrīmad Bhagavatam. Gurur na sasyat swajano na sasyat, pita na sasyat janani na sasyat, daivang na tatsyan na patishcha sasyan, na mochayedyah samupeta mrityum. This is Śrīmad Bhagavatam, 5th Canto, Chapter 5, Verse 18. One who cannot deliver his dependents from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipable demigod. End quote. Maharaj wants parents to educate their children. He is not against material education. On the contrary, he is always lamenting the fact that not enough educated people are joining Mahaprabhu's mission. He wants parents to give their children a good education, to encourage their academic skills and their philosophical mood. At the same time, he wants them to remember that the goal of education is to serve Krishna. If material knowledge can be attained while maintaining a Krishna-conscious point of view, then whatever material knowledge one has can be used to serve Krishna. Many educated devotees came to serve Śrīla Prabhupada. Here Śrīla Prabhupada means Śrīla Prabhupada Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Thakur. And they used their education to preach his message. Maharaj often quotes, "Pare kane lok, Krishna bhakti jani bare, she jodi nohilo tobe vidyai ki kore." This is from Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, Adi Khanda, chapter 12, verse 49. Why should people study? To know about the path of devotion to Krishna. If such knowledge does not result, then what good will education do them? She biddar phal janiho nishchoy, Krishna padapadde jodi chitto bitto roy. And this is again from Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, Adi Khanda. This is chapter 13, verse 178. You should know that education is fruitful if one can offer one's heart and property at the lotus feet of Krishna. End quote. Maharaj's instruction to parents is to raise their children in a Krishna-conscious atmosphere from the very beginning. Parents should encourage their children to participate in daily worship and Vaishnava festivals in whichever way is possible for them. All children should be told stories from Śrīmad Bhagavatam. especially the pastimes of Sri Prahlad Maharaj and Sri Dhruva Maharaj. Parents should not think that their children are too young to understand or participate in Krishna consciousness. Parents should have Krishna Katha with their children as early as possible. Sri Prahlad Maharaj was only 5 years old when he said, Komaro acharit pragyo dharman bhagavatan iha durlabhang manusham janma tadapyadruvamarthadam. That's Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 6, Verse 1. Quote, one who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life. In other words, from the tender age of childhood, to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. The human body is most rarely achieved, and although temporary like other bodies, it is meaningful because in human life one can perform devotional service. Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection. End quote. Maharaj greatly emphasizes the importance of association. He repeatedly says we can increase our Krishna conscious mood by giving up habits and associations that are unfavorable for devotion. He says the most important thing is to cultivate a spontaneous love for Krishna. So that's the end of that section. And I wanted to repeat that I'm reading that section to remind myself, because I'm not doing those things. So don't think that just because I said all those things that I'm doing them. I'm saying all this to remind myself to try to aspire for Guru Maharaj's instructions. And so one other thing I wanted to read just briefly was one of the diary entries of Guru Maharaj. So this is something that I actually I keep going on and off of writing a diary, and I actually think it would be good for me to do so. And so I want to remind myself that Śrīla Guru Maharaj used to write a diary, and that sometimes the entries could be simple. So so this is on September 29th, 1980. He wrote, he wrote in Bengali. This is, my mother translated it into English. So he wrote, although he actually did write something in his diary in English, which we were surprised, and it was like quite good English, but now I don't remember what it was. But anyway, this particular entry was written in Bengali. In the early morning after bathing, I performed Mangal Arati, offered Balya Bhog, did Annik chanting, and then rested. Later I bathed and did puja. Shripad Govardhan Das Babaji came from Shri Puri Dham. He came and sat in my room. We accepted prasad together. During the coming puja on Navami day, he will leave for Sridham Vrindavan. At noon, Kalyani's sister Karuna, that's my great aunt, his disciple, came and gave a donation. Madhavi has sent a money order from Vrindavan. Govardhan Das Babaji went out with the desire to go to the mutt of Shripad Siddhanti Maharaj. That would be Shri Bhakti Shirup Siddhanti Maharaj. He may stay there tonight. Tonight I gave the lecture. Tonight I heard Shripad Bon Maharaj himself went to the hospital, and seeing Shripad Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj's condition, he started crying. Then he came to Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Mutt and suggested that he take the responsibility of looking after Babaji Maharaj. Having received 300 rupees from the mutt, he is going to take a taxi to take Babaji Maharaj to the best hospital in Delhi, where he himself was treated. Now Bon Maharaj is feeling better. I heard that Shripad Indupati Prabhu and Puri Maharaj have joined Srimad Tirtha Maharaj's party in Jammu. I heard this tonight from Madan. Tonight I saw the proofs of the articles for Sri Chaitanya Bani. I received a letter from Sarojini Ma. Tonight I also replied to her letter. So that was a day in the life of Śrīla Guru Maharaj. So
little thing on that, like when we were reading A Life of Devotion, and then we read that end part with all his diary entries, that inspired me so much to start doing that myself. And I have a diary right here, and I've kept it up for now almost 2 full years now, just writing every day like that.
Jai.
That really inspired me when we read all that. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So thank you. And yeah, from time to time I've had the habit and then lost the habit. And like just this morning I wrote a little bit of something, but I want to keep up the habit again. So um and so this is reminding me how amazing Śrīla Guru Maharaj was, and how it's just my causeless good fortune to have had his darshan and his shelter and his instructions. So on this day, I pray at his lotus feet that he will please forgive all my offenses that I've committed to him knowingly and unknowingly. And I'm very grateful that he continues to guide me and to send Vaishnav association, and so I pray that he continues to do that. And also, I am seeing that he's sending more and more services my way, and that I like to get. So I'm very grateful to him, and I'm praying that he continues to do that, and keep me in his grace. And I also pray to all of you Vaishnavas that I will be able to serve him and remain in his shelter. Vanchakalpatarupascha kripasindubheva patitanang pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Wow. Thank you for sharing all that. That was, I mean, Śrīla Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, out of everyone, really, he's, I don't know, to me, he seems like one of the most, like, very clear and really powerful and clear, and like instructors of how to be completely clean and sincere and like a genuine sadhak, and how to follow proper conduct in every way. Like, I don't know, just that, like, out of everybody, he always, I don't know, he brings like the most clarity of like, and
yes, both through
it.
his example and his instruction. Yes, well, I mean, I feel that, but of course, it's I may feel that because I'm his disciple, but it's good to hear that also. So yeah, Jai.
That's why it is so powerful. It's because he fully, like, everything that he speaks, he's fully embodying, right? And so it has a extra power. And yeah, it's really, yeah, really amazing. Speaking of diaries,
is this Anade Krishna Prabhu who is on the Zoom? Is that my godbrother, or is that a different one?
Your godbrother, yeah.
Oh, Jai. Dandavat pranam to you.
And actually, speaking of, like, you're and Anade Krishna was Param Gurudev. What is it? Sundar Gopal, I heard that he's, your godbrother Sundar Gopal. I heard from Srivas the other day that he has all the diaries of your Param Gurudev, Śrīla Bhakti Madhava Goswami Maharaj, and he's now going through all of them, and I think translating them or something like that. He has all the diaries. Which, yeah, that would be really amazing to see. Yeah. Okay, so I was thinking maybe
and I should have said Dandavat pranam to all the other devotees present also. Yes, yeah. And as well as Madhukar Prabhu. Thank you.
Ready. So I thought with the rest of the time, I think we have 15 minutes. So maybe we could read some more glorifications from Śrīla Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. And then tomorrow, sorry, I meant to say, my brain's a little bit foggy right now. Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, we were reading yesterday. We'll just continue reading that for a little bit. And then tomorrow, I wanted to read one of my favorite articles by your Guru Maharaj, Guru Seva. I've read it here, I think, a few times before, and it's something I like to read every year. So we'll read that tomorrow. Okay, so this is on vcvani.com. I'm just continuing from where we left off yesterday. Complete dependence on Bhagavan. This is, Śrīla Bhakti Vijñāna Bhāratī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. This is from the book, I think it's from the book My Beloved Masters. The various disturbances that manifested within the Gaudiya Math institution following the disappearance of Śrīla Prabhupada inspired Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja and his godbrother, Sri Ananda Leelamaya Prabhu, to relocate to a place on the banks of the Ganga in Kalna, a town in the district of Bardhaman. Kalna was sanctified by the foot dust of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu during their visit there. During one of his preaching missions to England, Śrīmad Bhakti Hridaya Bhān Goswāmī Mahārāja met the king of Bardhaman. In 1959, on the recommendation of Śrīla Bhān Goswāmī Mahārāja, the king donated the ancient Ananta Vasudeva temple in Kalna to Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. At that time, Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja had already been serving his personal deities, Shri Radha Gopinath, for a considerably long time. Honoring the king's request, he then began serving both Ananta Vasudeva and Shri Radha Gopinath with great love and affection. The archan, the deity worship performed by liberated personalities, for instance, the worship of Sri Gopal by Srila Madhavendra Puripad, Sri Govindadev by Srila Rupa Goswami Pad, Sri Madan Mohan by Srila Sanatan Goswami Pad, Sri Radha Vinod by Lokanath Das Goswami, Sri Giriraj Shila by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami Pad, Sri Radha Raman by Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami Pad, Sri Vrindavan Chandra by Srila Kaviraj Goswami, Sriman Mahaprabhu by Srila Nartham Das Thakur, Sri Shama Sundar by Srila Shamananda Prabhu, Sri Radha Gokulananda by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sri Radha Vijay by Baladev Vijayabhushan Prabhu, and the many deities served by recent acharyas, is not the same as the archan performed by ordinary conditioned souls. The difference between them is like that between heaven and hell. Liberated personalities are able to realize the transcendental non-difference between the three forms of Bhagavan, his name, his deity form, and his intrinsic form, his swarup. Therefore, they are able to serve him in an appropriate mood. But the conditioned souls, lacking such transcendental realization, must abide by the prescribed rules and regulations when performing deity worship. Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja was fully renounced throughout his entire life. He always considered serving Srila Prabhupada's printing press, a service that was entrusted to him by Srila Prabhupada himself, to be his primary objective. When the opportunity arose to perform other services, he would perform them with great sincerity. But he never developed such an attachment to them as he did to serving Srila Prabhupada by publishing spiritual literature. Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja never directed even a fraction of his energy toward intentionally collecting money, attracting followers, garnering recognition, or acquiring land. He would always say, "A person is led to that in which he invests his energy." As part of his daily deity worship, Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja would bathe the deities in water he personally fetched from the nearby Ganga, offer them bhog, and then perform arati. When he would go out to collect bhiksha, alms, Sri Ananda Leelamaya Prabhu would serve the deities, and conversely, when Sri Ananda Leelamaya Prabhu would collect bhiksha, Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja would serve the deities. Once, Guru Maharaj, he is referring to Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Madhav Goswami Maharaj, sent me a letter when I was in Kolkata. He wrote, to commemorate the appearance day of Srila Nartham Das Thakur, Śrīla Purī Mahārāja is arranging for a festival to be held at the Ananta Vasudeva temple in Kalna on Maghi Purnima. That's a full moon day in January and February. It would be good if you could assist him. I have also asked Sri Krishna Kesha Prabhu, Sri Madhumathan Prabhu, Sri Vinod Bihari Prabhu, and others in Mayapur to join the festivities. So when this is Śrīla Bhakti began Bhāratī Goswami, she says, when I reached Kalna one day before the festival, I saw that the devotees Guru Maharaj had mentioned in his letter were already there. Also present were Dr. S.N. Ghosh, Rukmiṇī Didi's great-grandfather, and Dr. Navina Ranjan Sen Gupta. Do you know who that is, Rukmiṇī Didi? Navina Ranjan Sen Gupta?
I don't, unfortunately.
Okay. Both of whom were disciples of Srila Prabhupada and residents of Kolkata. That evening, I asked Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, Śrīla Mahārāja, is something wrong? I notice there is nothing to cook, nor are there any cooking utensils. There are not even flowers with which to decorate the temple for tomorrow's festival. What has happened? Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja replied, Sri Ananda Lila Mahaprabhu never mentioned anything to me. I suppose these things will be managed somehow. Feeling dumbfounded, I thought, Śrīla Mahārāja has invited so many people to this festival, but he is not the slightest bit worried that, as of yet, nothing has been arranged. Moreover, I do not understand why Śrīla Mahārāja has mentioned Sri Ananda Lila Mahaprabhu's name. To the best of my knowledge, Sri Ananda Lila Mahaprabhu was never made responsible for arranging anything. Who knows what deep bhav, what confidential mood Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja must be experiencing. Although I tried, I was unable to ignore my concern. I asked Sri Ananda Lila Mahaprabhu about the situation, but I was unconvinced by his reply. Thus, I returned to Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja and asked, Maharaj, when and from where are the ingredients for preparing bhog to arrive? Śrīla Mahārāja replied, I cannot say, but I have firm faith that by the will of Bhagavan, everything will be just fine. Everything will be just fine. Certainly, I replied. I then asked, is it possible to borrow large pots and cooking utensils from someone nearby? He replied, Shri Prakrit Bhushan Datta lives close by. He is the chairman of the Kalna municipality and has many such items. You can ask him. Early the next morning, on the day of the festival, I went to the house of Shri Prakriti Bhushan Datta and knocked on the door. When he sluggishly approached the entryway, I realized I had just woken him. I first offered my apologies and then explained the reason for my visit. Without asking any questions or saying anything, he called for his servant and gave him the keys to the room where the pots and utensils were kept. Let him take whatever he needs, he said. After I brought all the necessary pots and utensils to the mat, all the devotees cleaned them. In the meantime, a couple of persons had brought a few meager ingredients for cooking bhog, but the amount was far from sufficient. After I placed large pots of water on the stoves to boil, I sat back and waited for more ingredients to arrive. Within a very short time, people began to arrive one after another, like a line of ants, offering scores of items like jaggery, sugar, rice, pulses, flour, vegetables, milk, and curd. Suddenly, there is no shortage at all. The mat appeared as if it were a grocery. Seeing the abundance, I was reminded of a verse from Bhagavad Gita 9:22. Anayas chintayanto mam ye jana paripasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. For those who are devoid of other desires, who are always absorbed in contemplating me, and who always worship me, I personally carry their necessities and preserve what they presently have. I considered myself fortunate to witness such a practical example of this verse manifest before me. My bliss knew no end. Seeing that no one was available to cook for the festival, I gratefully accepted the responsibility and cooked under the guidance of Shripad Krishna Keshav Brahmachari, who used to cook for Srila Prabhupada. Never before had I cooked for so many people at one time. I cooked all the preparations ordered by Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja and did not stop until everyone was fully satisfied. Lunch prasad was served the entire afternoon until evening approached. Innumerable devotees honored that prasad. Many of them even took some prasad home with them. But still, there was no scarcity. In fact, the remaining ingredients were so plentiful that they lasted an entire month. Even so, Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja was indifferent towards saving those ingredients as he was toward collecting them from the start. He was genuinely unconcerned for the future and appeared to be the embodiment of the following verse. Alabde ba vinashte va bhakshachadanasadhane aviklava matir bhutva harim eva dhiya smaret. That's from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-114. Even if a practitioner of devotion is unable to obtain the necessities of life, or if he loses something after obtaining it, he should remain untroubled and continue remembering Sri Hari. Nice verse. Organizing a festival after having first collected all the necessary items is not the same as organizing a festival without having collected anything in advance. One way or another, Bhagavan undoubtedly fulfills the desires of a surrendered devotee. By Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja's mercy, I was able to attend this most memorable and distinctly unique festival, and thereby, for the first time in my life, gained the opportunity to receive darshan of several deities, including Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu, served by Shri Gauri Das Panditji, the deities established by Shri Suryakanta Sarkela, the father of Shriman Nityananda Prabhu's wives, Shri Janava Devi and Vasudha Devi. That's Suryakanta Sarkela. Also, the tamarind tree associated with Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, the deity of Shri Nam Brahma, served by Shri Bhagavan Das Babaji Maharaj, as well as a number of other worshipful deities and places in Kalna. I attended many festivals organized by Shri Gopinath Gaudiya Math, the math established by Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, both while he was present in this world and after his disappearance. When his disciple Shri Bhaktivedānta Mahārāja began organizing, I started attending those festivals when his disciple Shri Bhaktivedānta Mahārāja began organizing the festivals. I can say that although modern convenience has made it relatively easy to arrange extravagant festivals, I never again saw a festival as remarkable as the one I experienced in Kalna, for which no prior arrangements were made. Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja's transcendental glories manifested at that festival, and witnessing them firsthand left a deep impression on my heart. Okay, I'll read this one and then we will conclude our reading for today. Okay, seeing only virtues, ignoring faults. Once, Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja asked me to write a report about the spiritual activities happening at the Gokul branch of Shri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, where I was staying at the time. The report was to be published in Shri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math's monthly magazine, Shri Chaitanya Vani. Although I had no previous experience in composing articles for publication, I followed Śrīla Mahārāja's instruction, considering it to be non-different from that of my Guru Maharaj. I sent my finalized report to him with a cover letter stating, Śrīla Mahārāja, although I have no prior journalistic experience, I have written this report to the best of my limited ability. Please accept whatever you deem adequate and reject the rest. When the report was published in Shri Chaitanya Vani, I noticed that he had published it exactly as I had sent it, with not a single word omitted or changed. The next time I met with Śrīla Mahārāja, he told me, your writing was quite erudite. I did not find anything out of place or in need of editing, so I kept everything as it was. Hearing this reminded me of how Śrīla Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami described Shri Haridas Pandit, the Pujari of the Shri Govindadev temple in Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 862 by saying, Vaishnaver gunagrahi na dekhaye dosh. He accepted the good qualities of the Vaishnavas and ignored their faults. Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja's conduct, not only in this instance, but throughout his life, served as proof that he too possessed the special quality of seeing only the positive attributes of others. Okay, so it is now 8 o'clock. Maybe tomorrow we'll read a little bit more from this because it's this one. I love this pastime. Is so amazing. Well, let's see. How long is it? Would you mind if I just go 5 minutes over time? I'm just going to read this one just because it'd be nice to end with this. And if anybody needs to leave, because I know it's 8 o'clock now. Dandavat pranams and thank you so much for joining. But yeah, I'm just going to read this one. I'm going to go a little bit over time. Okay, so a Pranay Bhakta. In earlier times, during Rath Yatra, the festival management used to arrange a special area in front of the chariots where devotees could perform kirtan without any disturbance. Common people were not permitted to enter there. Once, while Gaudiya Math devotees were performing kirtan in that area under the guidance of my Guru Maharaj, the servants or pandas of Lord Jagannath became so ecstatic by hearing the kirtan that they lifted Guru Maharaj on their shoulders and forcibly carried him onto the Lord's chariot. Wow. Meanwhile, absorbed in the mood experienced by the Vraj gopis when they meet with Sri Krishna in Kurukshetra, Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja was dancing and singing the following song in front of the chariot. Sheto parananata paino jahalagi madane dahane jurigeno. That's Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 113. Now I have gained the Lord of my life, in the absence of whom I was being burned by Cupid and was withering away. While Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja was fully absorbed in singing this kirtan, all the devotees around him also became immersed in the same mood of meeting and were feeling jubilant. A pickpocket used this opportunity to steal Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja's wallet from his bag. Since most of the devotees were absorbed in the kirtan, no one noticed, except one of my godbrothers, Sri Nārāyaṇa Brahmachari, later known as Sri Bhakti Prasad Puri Maharaj, who rushed forward and caught the pickpocket. While restraining the thief, Sri Nārāyaṇa Brahmachari desperately tried to get the attention of Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, but Śrīla Maharaj was so absorbed in kirtan, he didn't pay any attention to his words. When Sri Nārāyaṇa Brahmachari tried more insistently, Śrīla Maharaj suddenly became very upset and chastised him. Why are you disturbing me? Let him take the money. Money will come and go, but the mood that we are experiencing at this moment may not come again. Among the people who witness this, who could truly understand Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja's internal mood or the cause of his irritation? It is only when one is highly sincere and spiritually mature, or in other words, completely surrendered, that one will be able to even notice such a subtle thing, what to speak of understand it. Therefore, although a pranaya bhakta may be present before us, and though we may personally witness his conduct, we will be unable to recognize him until we become completely sincere and surrender ourselves to his will. Without sincerity and surrender, we will not realize that his activities are those of a Mahabhagavat and not an ordinary devotee. It is only when we become truly sincere that a pranaya bhakta, out of his non-duplicitous mercy, reveals his true identity and exalted position. At such a time, we will be able to not only understand the conduct of the pranaya bhaktas, but also to keep it in our mind and heart and preserve it by imbibing it in our lives. By the mercy of those elevated Vaishnavas, we will be granted the vision to clearly understand the true form of their transcendental activities and the deep moods behind them. There is no possibility that pranaya bhaktas will manifest their mercy in a place where fault and surrender is present. In the absence of their mercy, we will remain unable to recognize such advanced personalities, and because of this, we will at times misconstrue their conduct as being improper. Mahat kripa bina kono karma bhakti noy, Krishna bhakti dure rahu, samsara nahe koi. That's Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 2251. One cannot attain bhakti without the mercy of a great devotee. What to speak of Krishna bhakti, one cannot even be relieved from the bondage of material existence. Therefore, it is only when one receives the mercy of pranaya bhaktas that one can identify both pranaya bhaktas and those who are sincere in their efforts to become pranaya bhaktas. We have seen that if anyone would give even a single rupee to Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, he would take it, touch it to his forehead, and then very carefully keep it in his bag, saying, "This money has been sent by Srila Prabhupada for the service of Bhagavan." But in the above-mentioned incident, Śrīla Mahārāja said, "Let them take my money, but do not bother me." Why is it that he has in one instance shown deep respect for an object he considers to be sent by his Guru Maharaj for the service of Bhagavan, but in another instance has exhibited disregard for that very same object? Through this, Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja is demonstrating that when one is absorbed in performing a higher service, a smaller service may be automatically neglected. There is no consideration of loss or harm in this. Many people were present when the pickpocket was stealing Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja's money, and each reacted to the incident according to his respective qualification. The senior Vaishnavas who were fully absorbed in kirtan and relishing the divine moods of the Rath Yatra festival were not at all agitated, whereas the junior neophyte devotees who hurried to apprehend and punish the pickpocket must have felt disappointment when Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja chastised them for disturbing his mood. When I witnessed this incident, I was reminded of a verse from Bhagavad Gita 269. Ya nisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagrati samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashato mune. Intelligence related to the soul is like night for common materialistic persons. However, a steady and controlled person with fixed intelligence remains awake in that same intelligence. The common person remains awake when intelligence is engaged in sense objects. But for he who perceives the absolute truth, the same situation is like night. Materialistic persons are conscious only of things related to this material world, and their concern for collecting money is such that they may fight over a single penny. They have no time to think about their true spiritual welfare, paramartha, nor are they the least bit bothered to inquire about it. Conversely, those who are completely aware of Atma Tattva, or the truth about the soul, always endeavor to accrue their real transcendental wealth. They do not waste even a single moment by caring for material possessions, knowing well that such things hold no true value. In accordance with this verse from Bhagavad Gita, I could observe that the senior Vaishnavas participating in Śrīla Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja's kirtan were completely absorbed in a mood similar to his. Due to their absorption, they were oblivious to the pickpocket. The neophyte devotees, however, were oblivious to the senior Vaishnav's absorption, and so their priority was to apprehend the pickpocket. Okay, so that's our reading for today. Thank you for letting me go over time. We'll end here. Bye.
Also, I put the link in the Zoom chat, so please so afterwards people can copy it from, I guess, from the WhatsApp chat.
Okay, and
if you put it there.
I'm posting it I just posted it on YouTube also. So,
oh, good.
Yeah, those watching on YouTube, you can find it in the comments. Right.
Thank you.
All right. And also, if anybody, we did a reading of the entire book, and that's all on my YouTube channel. I made a collection of it, so you can find that there. If you ever want to hear the book while you're doing other things, then you can find all the recordings there. Right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Jai Shishi Guru Garangandar Vikadiri Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki Jai. Jai Nityal Pravishta Vishnupara Shutarishita Shrimad Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Vishnupara Shutarishita Shrimad Bhaktivedānta Swami Mahārāja Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Vishnupara Shutarishita Shrimad Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Vishnupara Shutarishita Shrimad Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Śrīla Gokṣara Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru-varga ki Jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadasu Ganath Sharada Goswami Prabhu ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrind ki Jai. Jai प्रेम से नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासुदेव गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अविष्ट पदार्थ गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री कालना धाम की जय। श्री अनंत वासुदेव की जय। श्री राधा गोपीनाथ जी की जय। जय नित्य विश्व श्रील भक्ति विज्ञान भारती गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्य विश्व श्रील भक्ति बलवत तीर्थ गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्य विश्व श्रील भक्ति दायित माधव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्य विष्णु विष्णुपाद अशुतर श्रील भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोसाई महाराज की जय। तृतीय शुभ व्यास पूजा महोत्सव की जय। 127th Appearance Day Festival ki jai. Jai Shri Nitya Vishwa Śrīla Bhakti Rakshak Śrīla Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. All the associates of Jagat Guru Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय प्रियाय केशवाशुचा कृष्ण भक्ति प्रतिदेवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः। वंशा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Dandava pranams, Rukmiṇī Didi, Champak Mataji, Deepika Gupta, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, and all the devotees watching on YouTube and Facebook. I see Ganga Mataji and Dandava pranams. I see Vidyalasa Didi, Raseshwari Mataji. Oh, Prabhu, I forgot your name. Jimbo Albano. And he's your godbrother. Is it Jagadananda Prabhu or God? No, I can't remember. Sorry, if you could remind me of your name. Sorry about that, Prabhu. And all the other devotees watching, and Dita Mataji, and all devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi, Jayadeva Prabhu, and everybody else. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining. And also Rukmiṇī Didi, it was wonderful offering such beautiful excerpts from your mother's wonderful book. Yeah, as I mentioned, it's the link is in the, I'll post it on Facebook as well, but it's in the chats, both places. And I'll see you all tomorrow to read Guru Seva from, our beautiful, such a sobering, very powerful article by Śrīla Bhakti Pramoda Purī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. Right, very well. I can't hear you, Rukmiṇī Didi.
Now?
Yes.
In case anyone is wondering what this says behind me, it says Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. So my mother had painted this, and that is the definition of Shraddha, is the firm faith of, in this saying, that by doing Krishna Bhakti, all actions will be accomplished. So it just occurred to me that maybe if somebody saw that, they would be distracted and wonder what it said. So I just thought
I was actually looking at that while you're talking. I was like, yeah, okay, great. Thank you for clarifying that.
All right.
Cool. All right. Dandavat pranams, everybody. See you all tomorrow. Very well. And Vidyalala Didi says, thank you, Rukmiṇī Didi, for this amazing reading.